Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Turn's March Town Hall. I'm Pippa Yates, co-founder of Turn.io, and I'm really excited to be introducing you to today's session. Thank you all for joining us, whether you dialing in from India or Brazil or across Africa or elsewhere. It's really great to have you with us today. And today's session is it's a really special one in celebration of International Women's Day earlier this month. We're focusing on how conversational technology is driving change for women and girls globally. Women's Day this year, the theme was for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment. And it really challenges us to think about how we can create more inclusive and equitable opportunities for women and girls. And for me personally, this is something very close to my heart, supporting women and girls through technology. I've been lucky enough in my career and now at Turn to be working with incredible organizations that are using chat to reach women and girls where they are and on WhatsApp, whether it's helping a young girl get health information directly or enabling a rural entrepreneur to grow her business or providing critical mental health support. I've seen firsthand how technology and chat can change the lives of women and girls. And it just makes me really excited of the future and the opportunities we can continue to provide to provide girls with exactly what this Women's Day is all about, more equal rights, equality, and empowerment. So we're going to explore that a lot today. We have got an incredible lineup of super inspiring female leaders from the Chat for Impact community, all who are using chat to empower women and girls in really profound ways, whether that's increasing access to information or economic opportunities or creating safe spaces that girls want to engage in. Throughout today's conversations and presentations, we'll learn a bit more how these organizations engage women and girls with technology and any unexpected insights they've had, as well as what it takes to really design inclusive and diverse spaces for women and girls globally. So I won't take any more of your time. I'm sure you're really excited to get into things. Before we start, I just want to take a moment to celebrate all of the organizations, and the slide has only a few of them that we get to work with at Turn.io, who are specifically focused on supporting women and girls. Now, I know these few are just touching the surface. There are lots of organizations as part of this community that specifically focus programs on women and girls. But I just wanted to say feel incredibly proud to be able to support you in your missions. Just a tiny bit at what we do with Turn, and we continue to do so as we go forward. So just a quick round of applause for all the organizations that are celebrating women, are supporting women globally in low-income audiences, and also those who have powerhouse women in their leadership teams, as you'll hear more from our amazing panel today. So we'll hand over now to the wonderful Lisa Langford, who's going to introduce our panelists.
Thanks so much, Pippa. Yeah, I think I have a continuous smile as we were preparing for this town hall. Just first of all, seeing the amazing women that I have the privilege to work with Turn and also our partners. So I just want to shout out to all of you as well. So today I am joined by three inspiring women who have led standout projects specifically around our accelerator programs and focusing and empowering women. Joining us today is Ajita Shah, the founder and CEO of Frontier Markets, Karina Michel, the Chief Technologist and Creative Officer at Girl Effect, and Anna Clavio, who is the Operations Director at Akiwa Store. Welcome all three of you. We're going to have a very informal chat. And to get us started, I think I'm going to ask each of you to briefly explain what is your organization's mission and how do you use chat services to further that mission. So Anna, maybe you can get us started.
Yes, of course. So at Aquí Estoy Chat, we believe that mental and emotional well-being should be accessible to everyone. And our mission is to provide immediate, anonymous, compassionate, emotional support through chat, reaching young people in Latin America when they need it the most. So we want to be ready when they're feeling down to have a chat with them.
Fantastic. Thanks, Anna. Karina, do you want to share your work at Girl Effect?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Girl Effect predominantly works across Sub-Saharan Africa and India. We believe in the transformative power of women and girls, and we employ a lot of media, like radio, dramas, TV shows, as well as AI-driven chatbots. A lot of our chatbots help support girls in making decisions about their sexual health and mental health, and are integrated into public health systems to connect girls and young women to services available to them when they're ready.
Amazing. Thank you. And Ajita, do you want to share about your work at Frontiers?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having us here. I'm a big fan of the other organizations as well, so it's really nice to have us all in the same room at the same time. And also a big supporter and thankful for the work that we've been doing with Turn.io. So this is great. Yeah, so Frontier Markets works in rural India. We essentially exist to help connect services to rural markets by basically looking at an AI-enabled technology platform that essentially helps the complexity of distribution, supply chain, products, et cetera, getting to rural people, getting those products and services to rural people where they live. So we're in about, I think, 5,000 villages now. 35,000 rural women entrepreneurs are at the center of using our technology to become those facilitators for services. And we've helped about 1 million families now get over 100 million solutions at their doorstep where they live. But more importantly, using technology to essentially hear them and understand what they need. And then most importantly, I think in the partnership with all of you, bringing together more interesting tools to make it easier for women to be successful entrepreneurs on the ground, to earn real money, but also essentially be the voices of the masses in rural India.
I love what you say there, Jita. Two things that stood out. Women being at the center, add technology, and you have a whole community impacted. I love how that is kind of the two core elements to drive community impact. Well, we all are in the business of building out these chat services. But what tools or tactics are you using to create awareness amongst women, specifically of your chat service, and what best practices can you share with the cohorts that's joining us today?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. I mean, obviously, in the context of rural India, and I'm aware that we have a beautifully global group joining the call today. So, despite the fact that rural India's internet penetration is incredible, and despite the fact that smartphone penetration is also, again, incredible, the fact of the matter is that there is still a discrepancy between digital literacy and digital capability and use of phones to do more than send messages or watch YouTube, right? And so ultimately, I think two things that we've been saying very clearly is that while we embrace digital innovation, I think it's important to understand that it's still an assisted economy, which means that you still will need people to help others really get on board onto this digital revolution and evolution that is happening. I think secondly, I guess three things. So second, I would say is what you design in terms of your technology innovation also matters. So for me, the biggest lesson was co-design. So everything that we've created on our app or our tech platform has been designed for, with, by those women that we work with. So it's incredible when you think about how you think through design, use case, and also relevance, and also then understanding the gaps. And then I would say the third thing is you need to recognize that, education will not go away. Skilling and tool building is incredibly important because people will not necessarily become tech savvy overnight. And so how do you essentially, embrace skilling, training tools, and recognition in a way that is easy and for them to understand and use in the right way. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that we did, right? So what has become interesting is, and then of course, in the context of India, there's 100 million women that are part of the self-help group infrastructure today that has been led by the government. We operate literally in that region, tier 5, tier 6 villages, which is again 500,000 plus villages in the country. So these are really big numbers, right? Imagine language diversity, skill diversity, access diversity, all the things that happen. But today, what we've been able to do is leveraging things like AI tools, AI bots, skills tools, especially via Meta or WhatsApp or through Turn.io. Like we've been able to customize an understanding that is very common. For us, the commonality is the digital literacy space, the need to want to work opportunity, and the access gap. That does not change irrespective of what state you're operating in, hence our ability to scale and the way that we've been able to scale. And then recognizing the things that I just said earlier, how do you kind of apply those same principles of co-creation, assisted, and actually really designing to help elevate? It's game changing. And I think that's what we've been able to do. And so today, we keep adding new states. So just literally last week, I was taking care of the Prime Minister's social media handle for the day, for International Women's Day, highlighting this work, which essentially allowed us to now unlock multiple states of MOU. So all of a sudden we're going, oh, 1 million women and 100 million people can actually get access to services. But the key was to understand, what do they need, what were the gaps, and how do you actually co-create to make this thing work more effectively? And I think that's where we are.
Amazing, amazing. Karina, I'd be keen to hear a bit more about how you, I know specifically Good Effect has got some really innovative way of creating awareness amongst girls, both offline and online. Can you maybe chat a bit more? How do you get people to actually start using your service? I think, if we can think about practical solutions, especially for the rest of the team members, it would be great if you can share that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long journey. We launched our first chatbot in 2018 in South Africa, and a lot of our marketing tactics were very advertising heavy. Chat to us, we can answer your questions. What we discovered is that for young women and girls without trust, they're very wary of services or brands coming to them and effectively asking them to confide in deeply personal issues that they meet with constant judgment, stigma around. And so to build that trust, we really needed to build a sense of identity with young people and emotional connection with them first. And sometimes that often starts with other tactics or formats or media properties that we employ. So we don't rely just on chatbots. A lot of the journey towards behavior change, and when we're doing social behavior change programming, sometimes starts with a TV drama or a club program. And we're trying to emulate what change could look like and showcase what alternative realities could look like for young women, especially young women that are navigating a lot of decisions on a daily basis and don't really have those role models in their lives of what it could look like. So we create TV dramas and radio shows that create characters that are representative, deeply researched about the realities of girls. And so our audience can see themselves in those characters. But we also employ a lot of social media tactics. We work with fantastic influencers where girls have already built a connection with them and through their referrals and their own brand credibility, we can build trust with our audience as well. And we try and stigmatize tricky conversations like, let's talk about sex. We do podcasts about that because sometimes girls struggle to articulate these questions and know that a lot of girls and boys have the same exact questions. One of our biggest insights in many of the countries, we have 3 chatbots. Usually their frequently asked questions are the same across all countries. It's the same questions we had when we were growing up about body curiosities and what is love and etc. And so through understanding around how you build trust in the way that we brand, in the way that we talk, in the way that who we work with and how we emulate change, are we then building a proposition for these services so that when young people start to feel comfortable talking about these issues but it might be lacking a judgment-free space. That's the critical moment in which we can start to advertise these types of services. And once we kind of got that balance right, we started to see really strong conversion rates and really strong cost of conversions that were very sustainable. At this point, we're over about 1.5 million users worldwide. And we're starting to see how that trust plays on into the conversation to also building trust for services. If they start to trust in that service, then you become a service referral for other services available to them. So that's been sort of our strategy today. But yeah.
I love that. I love that omni-channel focus and not
Yeah.
just thinking about the just kind of one specific channel, but looking at every single touch point that they engage with and then adding trust. That's such a fantastic insight. And I'd be keen to hear in your region specifically, is there certain learnings that you can share of how women are using technology? We've now spoken a little bit about Africa and India. Are things looking the same in LATAM, or would you say it is slightly different?
First of all, Latin America is relies
It's
really
very big.
heavily on, yeah, but we rely heavily on WhatsApp. We do everything on WhatsApp. So chat with friends, of course, buy things like all day long we're sitting on WhatsApp doing things. So we expected having mental health support to be quite straightforward. And at the beginning of our service, I, as a psychologist, I was a little bit worried about what we were losing on a chat. So compared to a therapy, on person-to-person therapy, in-person therapy, we don't have the image, how the people move, how they talk, their voice, the silences. So there's a whole lot of things that we're losing on a chat. And I was very surprised that about something, it's quite difficult to explain, but I always use the same metaphor that when you're chatting, you start to have this kind of sense of the other people with the times, how they respond. And it's like when you are driving a car and you see the car that is in front of you, and because of all the movements that they do, you know, like they're going to make a turn and they didn't put the lights on, and you get this instinct. And I always use the same metaphor because people get it that way. You start to get something that it's not in, well, it's in the times, in the language, about how they're feeling. And it's for me, it was very surprising to get that in the chat. And also that if you give a safe space to talk, even if it is written, because we don't use voice calls or voice memos, because we do supervision in real time. So having it written, it really helps us. And we think also it helps our users to write what they're feeling, to have a little bit of processing there. But we realized that people, mostly women, because 80% of our users are women, they really get into the bone of what they're feeling in a really short time. So in the difference with a therapy that you take a lot of sessions to get into the point, they know they have a conversation that is 50 minutes and they go to the bone. And of course they can come back tomorrow or the next day and continue chatting. But creating that safe space with anonymity give us the opportunity to create a very deep connection in that moment. So for me, that was the surprise. And I guess that's not just for Latin America, that probably is the same for many of you elsewhere, that I get into this thinking like we're losing a lot of important information, but you get a different amount of information that really can help you thrive and make a really good service.
So Anna, correct me if I'm wrong. I will make an assumption, but I think I might be right in my assumption. The fact that as a woman, you've helped with designing your service. Obviously, it sounds like you have taken a lot of first-hand learnings working in mental health and as a woman itself to design the service. Is my assumption correct?
Yes, well, it's difficult to make a differentiation between being a woman and being a mental health provider and a therapist. But what I think that our team put into this product and this service is the most important thing for us is that everyone that write to us is feel heard and validated. And it's like we know from the theory and we study and on mental health, this is really important. But from the stories of our users, we now see the impact that this have, like in a very small amount of time, that 50 minutes of talk, a few days a week, we see people that make really enormous changes in their lives when they feel that their emotions are validated, that their story is validated, and that they are right in the sense that they should expect better from their context, their social context, that is not just like that, that they have the power to do something. And that's immense, because when you're constantly getting from your context the information that that's just the way it is, you kind of feel powerless. So giving the voice to women, to young people, to write and feel validated, it's an enormous change that they can make in their own lives, and we are there to support them.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Ajita, you've set quite an ambitious goal of building a sales force of over 1 million digital savvy women. I love that, big audacious goals. What is your plans for achieving it? How do you kind of set yourself up for success? I know you're already on the way to that goal. And how's chat technology playing a role in achieving that goal?
Yeah, so to be fair, in India's context, 1 million seems tiny, right? So again, just for the audience that's here, right? We're talking about 100 million women that are part of the self-help group infrastructure, which was created by the government and nonprofits in this incredible way many, many years ago, right? What is that? So it's a women's collective group across rural India and urban India, where women have bank accounts, they have IDs, they have access to an infrastructure that essentially has enabled them to leave their homes and actually be ready to be aspired to elevate income and earn something and contribute back to their families. 100 million, right, across the country, of which 15.7 million today are actually already entrepreneurs, like running small women like businesses or shops, again, not being seen, not being heard. And then you have the layer of 800 million consumers. So, these are really, really big numbers. So when I say 1 million, I'm like, sure. I'm glad everyone thinks it's big. It's really not. It's but in that same context, how are we going about it? One thing that we've done, knock on wood, well, is that we've cracked the understanding of how to help digitally unsavvy women embrace digital literacy through the Meri Saheli app that we had created, a couple of years ago. And because it was designed for women by women in the way that it was, we were able to really demonstrate in 3 states now, which seem like countries because they're massive, 3 states now in the country in different languages, that actually it is like a cookie cutter model that can be replicated. And so what's happened now is that we are regularly partnering with nonprofits as well as government organizations, state by state, that have these self-help group women, 100 million, the 15.7 million. And they're coming to us because they're saying, yeah, you've done something right. You have showed us that if women embrace technology and digitize their shops, they actually can become multi-service providers and earn real money, right? And the fact of the matter is that if you do this well, then the rural families, the 800 million, will actually be able to get access to products and services where they live and at an ease of convenience that did not exist before. And it works. And we've been able to prove that. So now So now it's a matter of, I guess, three things. One is partnering with those entities, and we are like left and right. We're now partnering with like multiple governments. Second is about understanding what their digital inclusion needs to be, but then getting access to that data of those 100 million women, which is amazing to like understand. How do you then bring them into your system? And then I think third is constantly thinking about what families need in terms of access and building commerce over a period of time. So where does chat fit into all of this, right? I think specifically with what we've done with Turn.io, chat has been a part of the education piece. So, you know, every time you onboard a new women entrepreneur, she does need handholding, right? She does need access to information. She also needs to be able to understand what she's doing or what she's not doing well. And you can do that with a human effect, with field staff, as we've done. Can you imagine if you're scaling to 1 million? That's insane. So like, especially across the entire country of India, right? We're talking about like the 3 states to 10 states, et cetera, et cetera. 5,000 villages to 25,000 villages, right? It's like a crazy scale. So you need a little less human, but also human intent, right, with technology. And I think I love what Anna and Karina have already said, because obviously I'm like nodding on everything that they're saying, because of course you need that human contextual understanding. But what chat can do is it can automate that, which I think is really effective. And I think that's really what's allowed us to be more efficient. So can you, like, even today, handling 35,000 women entrepreneurs is no feat. Like, and who are working with 1 million rural families, which means 7 million people. The data points that we get on a daily basis is like 2.5 million data points a day, right? And so you do need pieces of AI, you need pieces of chat to help you become more efficient. And I think that's where, for me, the learning tools have come in. So now going forward, we're designing the same learning tools in a big way. And as we scale, the big thing will be now adding new languages. It'll be about contextually understanding, you know, what, you know, someone in Rajasthan in northern India will be very different than someone in Andhra Pradesh, right? Because you also have patriarchy versus matriarchy versus, you know, language. So you take all those pieces in though, and if you combine that with the innovation of what I think chat can do, it's game changing to be more efficient and make that scale happen. So I think it's a small number, if you ask me, but I do think, and I think that in the partnership of bringing chat in, I think we can do it faster, more effectively with bigger scale. And I also think that we can learn a lot more to then take it to the next level.
Amazing. I think a masterclass on how to scale. You mentioned 2 things which I want to call out. Partnership. And I think often we tend to just focus on how can we as an organization take it bigger, but partnership can really open up a massive market to you, and technology using chat services. You're 100% right.
Let me just say one thing about partnership, and I was quoted on this at Davos this year. And so like they said, Ajaytha, why are you so, like, we have 210 plus companies that are on our platform today. We have 45 plus API integrations on our platform today. So people go, how did you do it? I said, very simply, everyone come with your egos and logos. Please come. I'm going to leave my ego and logo at home, because ultimately you need the one person that ultimately thinks about coalition. And I also say the last thing I would say is on partnership very specifically. Look, it's a 100-lane story. It's a 100-lane highway. We're all looking at one goal. And if our one goal is elevation of income for women, or one goal is elevation of people, period, then we need to start understanding where everyone plays a role, which is one of the reasons why I was so happy to work with chat, with Turn.io, because I'm not going to create the next like cool AI chat for impact tool. It's just not my thing. I'm good at making women entrepreneurs, and I understand markets, and I understand creating, I understand India. So I think the integration piece is so critical for us to then be more effective in terms of how we look at the future forward.
Fantastic. I think I could continue this conversation for the whole of the title, but I'm going to ask two more questions to make sure we give enough time for everyone else. Karina, Girl Effect is known for innovation. I know you're always at the cutting edge of seeing how can you use technology to better impact women and girls. Tell us, maybe give us a little bit of a glimpse. What are you currently looking at? What are you testing? And then Anna will go to you for the last question.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. At the moment, we're like a lot of organizations exploring this new space of advanced LLMs, ChatGPT 4.0, whatnot, Gemini, Anthropic. So at the moment, we are doing a lot of testing, a lot of R&D into Gen AI, but trying to approach it as safely as possible. So we spent a year building eval frameworks, identifying metrics, co-creating with young people to validate a lot of this work, and are piloting currently in South Africa a beta version of our Gen AI solution. So we're really excited. It's quite unique in that we're trying to ensure that this is a solution that's highly replicable in many languages that young people speak. So whether that's Shang, a mixture of Swahili and English, or whether that's English, a mixture of Hindi and English, we're trying to make sure that the infrastructure that we've built to support Gen AI is one that works for audiences that we're reaching, audiences that speak in very low resource languages. So we're really excited about that. But alongside those technologies, in the next couple of weeks, we're also going to be sharing our ethical guidance and guidelines towards implementing AI and generative AI. We're working with Tech on that front, so we should be sharing that fairly soon.
Amazing. We would love to amplify that. That is really needed, and especially if we can share it with the rest community, please send it our way. And I know that you are really good at creating kind of working groups and collaborating with other organizations. What would you suggest for everyone on the call today? How can they collaborate to ensure that specifically women's needs and the diversity of needs are addressed? Do you have any tips of how we can all work together?
So first of all, I'm talking from the standpoint of a very small organization. So always, yes. Like we're 5 full-time employees and 100 volunteers. So resources is always a struggling point for us, especially when talking about alliances and working with other institutions. At least in Latin America, this is really one of the difficult points of working with other institutions. So my approach is to always have a close conversation, understand what are their mission, what they want to work with, and what is the core thing that they are doing, to see if we can align and to create connections with the people that are working on those institutions. Because at the end of the day, if we want to make a project that we don't have funding for, and that is really nice, but if we don't have funding, we cannot make it. So also have patience in terms of time. Sometimes it's a very good connection that you're going to meet in different instances, and after 2 years perhaps you will be able to work together, because when your timeline and their timeline aligns, that's the point when you can work together and not try to push something that is not the right time. I think that's all the errors that I made early on my career, trying to work with people that I do connect with, and that I believe in their mission, but if we're not working on the same page at that time, it's good to have them close, to talk with them regularly, to know what they're doing. And also
I just know it's not just you. We've all done it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We've all done it. Like, it's all of our pain points. So you're just saying it out loud. So just know that. Okay, but you continue.
Yes, and to be honest on what you are, and to be honest of what are you able to do right now, because sometimes you're very wishful thinking about what you would love to do. It's in the way of what you can really do. So have honest conversation, connect with people, and be patient. That would be my advice to all
I
of the
love that.
organizations.
for me, just, I mean, if I think about you as a person, it's the empathetic approach, listening to what the other party wants, finding a middle ground and seeing if the timing aligns. So with that, I think it's the perfect end. I want to thank and celebrate all three of you and your organizations and the fantastic work that you do. I want to celebrate also all the organizations that we work that are women-led and women-focused, and also the Turn team. So with that, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Nielke. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. That was amazing to listen to you all, and a hello from Cape Town. I've made a joke in the chat to say summer on this side is finishing very strong, and we should all be like that. But I also feel truly inspired by all three of you to, just tackle work and challenges with a smile and do what we can do. Today, it is my privilege to share about a new opportunity from Meta's side. They have launched a beta program for calling on the business platform. So I think all of you that's on this call will know that calling as a business on the platform isn't possible today unless you get onto the beta program. So I think I had a moment this week where I was engaging with what do I call it, with a company, and I was very happy to chat. And at some stage, I just wanted to pick up the phone, talk to a human to kind of iron out the last little part of the conversation. And I think we, on your help desk and on your chat services, a lot of your users might feel like that as well. And times are changing, and calling is now becoming a thing and getting tested, and Meta is learning what businesses need and figuring out what that would look like on their side. So if we go to the next slide, the opportunity within calling is really that you can expand the reach, right? It can in many places also overcome literacy barriers. People that might find it harder to type can just call immediately. And so you can get your vital services to reach those in need. It's also just immediate human support, especially useful for complex issues. And the magic will lie in the fact that there's a seamless transition from chatting in text or all of that, and then a live call with a human. So let's see how a user would access it. They would be very similar to how you would use the app. You can go to the next slide. The classic call button right at the top right, you'll be able to call a business. I'm going to show you guys a demo, but there will also be like a click to action, so click to call button messages or template messages where you can have a short conversation and say, listen, click this button and we can actually chat. And there it will be deep link opportunities and QR codes that you can embed in onboarding journeys, or at the right point, maybe after having to discuss certain results or whatever the conversation is needed. So we are going to look at a video, but before we get into the video, I just want to orientate you on the video. The video is on the left. You will see Samantha's phone, right? Samantha is our user, and she's chatting with a Turn line. And she's just saying, listen, I have a sensitive health issue and I prefer to not do it on text. I would actually just like to talk with someone. And then on the right hand side, you're seeing the Turn interface. And so that's the screen that the operator is interacting from. So we want to watch the short video. I'll just narrate you guys through the video. So we have Sam on the right hand, and she said that she would prefer to speak to someone, and the operator, very kind and friendly, saying, let me just get my headphones, don't all of us have to do that. And then it can be a nice and private conversation on WhatsApp. So it's in the chat, right? There's already been a long-term chat happening. We then kick off the calling journey, just illustrating that you can also set up these things by default to work. And there's a nice quick button to just call us now. And so the call is happening from the user side. It pops up in the Turn interface, gives you a little sound so the operator can see Sam is calling. They can move around there. Also, just to demonstrate, you'll be able to find your calls all together in one place. Different avenues within the UI that you can get it. And then they can say hello to each other.
Hello.
hello, and Sam can talk back to the operator. So it's a short demo just to show you guys what's possible within the beta program. So very exciting things coming up. And I'm actually going to introduce, we'll just wait for the slide deck. There we go. I'm going to introduce Jessica to you guys. Jess joined us on the 6th of January as our product marketing manager, and we thought it's a great month to introduce Jess to our customers. Jess grew up in Brazil, in Joinville, but she's currently based in the USA, in Michigan. And Jess is going to tell you guys how you can get involved in the calling beta if you are getting very excited about the video that we've just shared and the opportunities in your mind have just opened up. So Jess, over to you to share how our customers and organizations can get involved with the beta program.
Thank you, Anilka. It's such a great opportunity to join a company like Turn.io and work alongside so many brilliant women, like you've all seen in the call today, not only inside Turn, but with amazing, inspiring customers as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here. So still on the topic of calling, I have great news for all enterprise customers who want to add a call option to their chat service. We're launching a beta program with Meta for calling, and we'd like to invite anyone interested in getting firsthand access to this functionality to join it. The opportunity is available to all enterprise customers in India, Indonesia, Brazil, and Mexico. To be eligible to join the beta, we're going to need participants to identify their use case, commit to using the feature and making at least 10 calls per week, and also be prepared to share any learnings and metrics with our team, as this is the whole point of the beta, right? Beta participants may have the opportunity to be showcased at the upcoming Meta's Conversation event in July, and also be featured in Meta's branded case studies. So if you have an exciting use case, that might be a great opportunity for some brand visibility for your organizations. If you're interested, please reach out to Lisa at turn.io. So you're going to see her email on the screen there. Lisa, if you want to type your email on the comments as well, so people can just copy paste, maybe for, easier to be, maybe it's easier to reach out. The application deadline in our first introduction call is on March 20th, also known as tomorrow. So hurry up, and we're expecting to launch on April 14th. So again, if you have any questions or would like to apply, please reach out to Lisa. Her email is showing on the screen. And that's all for the beta program. Up next, my fellow Brazilian, Raquel. The floor is yours, Raquel.
Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, I'm Raquel. I'm based in Rio, and I work in the frontline support with wonderful colleagues, as mentioned. Okay, so I want to share highlights from our WhatsApp for the Amazon Demo Day that happened on February 25th. And it was our first in-person demo day, and it happened in Brasília, Brazil. Each organization in the cohort demonstrated a service they have developed during the 4-week accelerator program, showcase how they are using chat technology and AI to protect and preserve the Amazon, from enhancing environmental monitoring and to empowering local communities. Each organization has brought a unique approach to addressing crucial challenges in the Amazon. All participants deserve recognition for their innovative and impactful chat solution developed during the accelerator. A big thank you to our cohort, Nossas, InfoAmazônia, Correio Sabiá, Earth Defenders, Four Legs, GovTools, Ignitia, Sumauma, and WoodChat. And congratulations to the winners, WoodChat, Four Legs, and Earth Defenders. The winning organizations received additional financial support from Meta and a 1-year enterprise license from Turn.io. The event drew significant attendance from civil society, including representatives from the Brazilian government and members of Congress. So we are incredibly proud to the entire cohort and would like to thank also our partners, Meta and the Institute for Technology and Society. And of course, the Turn.io team for their support and dedication to the program. And for the upcoming event, yes, we have the Stanford Center for Digital Health recently launched a white paper on generative AI for health in low and middle income countries. The paper examines where Gen AI is currently being used, its greatest success, and how we can unlock its full potential, both for behavior change and broader healthcare applications. Turn.io contributed to the white paper together with a number of organizations, including NeuroHealth, Girl Effect, and Panda Health. Join us together with Stanford CDH's principal investigator, Dr. Eleni Linas, for a virtual discussion of the findings on next Wednesday, March 26th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. The Bay Area Global Health Alliance is hosting the conversation as part of their AI Global Health discussion series. We'll share the link to the white paper and the registration link to the event in the chat. To know if Lisa will share this for us as well. And then the next event the Turn.io team will be attending is the School World Forum from 1st to 4th April in Oxford, UK. This special gathering brings together people from all over the globe to accelerate solutions to the world's most pressing challenges. So if you're planning to be in Oxford for the forum and would like to grab a coffee with our co-founder, Gustav Brauk, and our head of Impact Accelerators, Liz Langford, please reach out to Liz, also via email that she shared above in our comments chat. And you can also register to attend school virtually by visiting school.org. And these were the announcements, and back to Pippa.
Thanks so much, Raquel. Well, that brings us to the end of what I found a very inspiring session today. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all our amazing female women speakers today, Ajaita, Karina, and Anna, for sharing their insights and experiences. There were a few key takeouts for me. I mean, Ajaita started with mentioning or saying what you design matters, that you need to co-design with women. Very close to my heart, since this is how I started my career. Me and Karina in the field in Rwanda, doing co-design sessions with adolescent girls. So super important as a key place to start. She also mentioned that education and skill building doesn't go away, and how do you embrace that, and how do you support women as they train and upskill into this digital realm and into this AI and chat space. Karina, you talked a lot about trust and how important it is that girls are really wary of engaging around really sensitive issues, or maybe taboo subjects, or stuff that in their context is not acceptable. And that to build that trust first and then further that engagement on chat is really powerful. They need to be prepared and ready to engage. And you do that through a multiple channel strategy, TV shows, all sorts. Super exciting. Thanks so much for your insights. And Anna, you chatted about the importance of the safe space, the anonymity, how it enables women and girls to open up about really deep things quickly. And I loved your mention of how you can start to pick up patterns just in how they chat. I find this with my colleagues on Slack. I know whether they're happy or sad just by the speed at which they're typing on WhatsApp. So it was super interesting to hear that coming out in your work, and just gives you indication on all of those like subtle cues that really give you insight into your users, and to pay attention is super important. But the last thing you said was it's super important for girls to feel heard and validated, and that they can make an enormous change in their own lives if that's the case. And I'm super excited that we now can make girls feel even more heard and validated, potentially by jumping on a WhatsApp call like Nilka introduced to us. And I hope you guys do take advantage of joining the beta program and to test that out with your users to see when is most appropriate, specifically for women and girls, to pick up the phone and enable them to give you a call and to support them even more personally and with greater depth than you can today. For me, this conversation really enforced something that I've seen again and again in my work over the last many years, that real impact comes when we design technologies and chat services with empathy and understanding, when we listen to women and girls, where we meet them where they are, we build solutions that actually reflect their realities. And if we provide them with a safe space to express themselves, to build their skills, as well as increase their confidence, then they can start to make the change that we really want to see in the real physical world. So I want to say thank you to everyone who joined the session today. We do have a special offer for you. If you're interested in an advisory session with one of the truly wonderful women of Turn.io, who have skills from everything from engineering to conversation design to go-to-market to business in general, or even just for a chat, please don't hesitate to again reach out to Lisa Langford. Her emails in the chat, and we'll connect you with the most appropriate and very talented woman from our team to have a call. But let's keep working together as a Chat for Impact community to make sure that chat serves all women and girls, and use this community and our partnerships, and as Ajayta said, each play our part in that 100-lane highway towards equality and empowerment for all women and girls. So thanks again for joining today, and we'll see you at our next town hall.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.